blessing, and every L is a lesson. So when I run into rejection, I know it's only redirection. I see the blessings right beside me, the chances of quitting are likely. I do it like I'm in my Nikes, don't make excuses, they never excite me. Boxes, boxes, I cannot fit in the boxes. Stop it, stop it, quitting was never an option. Exhausted, exhausted, this passion is never exhausted. And you cannot stop it, nah, you cannot stop it.
How you doing? What up, Nick Nation? It's Monday morning. Grab your coffee, wake your asses up, and let's talk Knicks. After these last two games, we have no choice but to do a full-blown open panel on a Monday morning because we went from, holy shit, that was the best game to, oh shit, we should have had that game. What happened? Eddie, what's up, my guy? My brother Phil is in the building. How you guys doing this morning?
Good, bro. How about you, man? It's chilling.
Man, you know what? I mean, this weekend, it was crazy. But you know what? I thought both games were really freaking good. You know, I mean, you could look at all the downside for yesterday's game, which I know we have a couple that we're definitely going to harp on today. I see the chat is already blowing up. Phil, I know you came ready. You've been ready. Phil, last night, the first text I get from him is like, open panel. Open panel tomorrow. Open panel. I was like, all right. What's up, bro?
Yeah, you know, I feel like last night is one of those games where people are jumping off the ledge on either side of the platform. You know, and either way, I'm just like shaking my head like, all right, chill it out. Like, let's talk it through. Let's make sense of it. And that's why I love open panel. You know, the people that are jumping off the ledge on negativity, you know, someone who says something positive might bring them back a little bit. Someone who's, you know, living on the edge of denial that there's anything wrong can actually listen to what they call a toxic take and actually find some actual truth in it. So it kind of helps people level out a little bit because, yeah, there were some things in that game that, you know, were unfortunate, but there were also some positive things too. So you got to take both with a grain of salt, talk it through, figure it out, walk through your fandom together. So I'm looking forward to it. And, you know, like for me, since I'm not a guy that curses, you know, having Eddie on the show is great. You know, like he allows all my frustration and anger to come out through him. So it's great. It's a perfect time for Eddie to be on the show and say all the four-letter words.
So in other words, Eddie encouraged you for open panel. You're like, oh, Eddie's our guest. Open panel Monday.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, our brother Hector is in Puerto Rico doing his thing, living up, deserves a week's vacation. Eddie, appreciate you stepping in for him. Before we get started, let's do a little roll call real quick. Thanos, Tony DeMayo is in the building. What it do, Tony? We got Savage NYC. Salute, salute. JJ is in the building. Real bad loss last night. Can't happen. Not with the Suns having no Beal or KD. I hear you. We are definitely going to talk about that. The moderator of all moderators, the blood of the Panther. What up, blood? Appreciate you, my guy. We got Dr. Hitskins. That shit makes me laugh every time. In the building. Not a basketball fan. Want to show support. Rock on, gents. That's what I'm talking about. Kenny Payne is in the building. Oh, Kenny. I'm going to tap that one right there and bring that one back up because that is definitely a topic of conversation for a bit today. My boy Jason 161 River Evans in the building. Yo, if you love Yankees talk, check out our boy 161 River Ab, DSJ, the troll of all trolls. Salute to everyone in the chat. Salute to the bro Heck, Project HQ, Phil Porto, Jiggaman Porto, the Morning Brew Sports Network. Woo, y'all got me spinning out. TC Steels is in the building. What it do, my guy? All right, I see we got a bunch more people plugging in, guys. Blow up that chat. Oh, I see we got Rails in the building. What it do?
What up, Rails?
Ali State of Mind is in the building. Guys, let's go back and start off. What I'm going to do first is I just dropped the link in the chat for the open panel. Guys, we make it really simple around here. Be respectful. This isn't Twitter Spaces where you get to just duck your ish and then walk away. Hey, show a little bit of respect, Follow the terms and conditions. Don't get us kicked off of YouTube. Phil knows what I'm about to say. It's simple. Don't be a douche. It's pretty easy. Just come up, have a good time. Let's talk about it. But, guys, let's go back to the first game this weekend where we had that Knicks 100, Heat 98. And, man, how good did you feel leaving that game, Phil?
Yeah, for me, that game was pretty much, the epitome of a Knick team that is not willing to give up, and that's one thing that I did love, in that game, it makes you go, Emmanuel Quickley needs to be here. Like, he is one of those guys that, I don't care if you think he's going to get traded or not. We all have our speculations of what is actually going to happen with him. But there is not a single person that, for me, is justified by not wanting Emmanuel Quickley here. That is not an acceptable take. He's a guy that we drafted, a guy that we've seen continue to grow. So wherever you are on the spectrum of what you think's going to happen, what you should want to happen is Emmanuel Quickley to stay in the orange and blue. Because this kid is the epitome of what we want as a New York Knick. He's someone that's going to fight to the last minute. He's someone that's going to prove you wrong time and time again. Yeah, he'll have a game off here, but he comes back 10 times better than the game before. So Emmanuel Quickley, to me, is the kind of guy that continues to fight, continues to show that he belongs in a Knicks uniform. And Jalen Brunson is just Jalen Brunson. That's all I can say about that. Same thing. I was happy to see that we showed up in the fourth. It was a little crazy to me that we had to wait to show up in the fourth, because in that third quarter, a lot of people had checked out. And this is the one thing I'll say before I throw it to Eddie. Fans need to chill on telling people how to fan, receipting tweets from the third quarter talking about, oh, you talk trash about our Knicks. No, it was bad coaching and bad playing in that third quarter. That's why those tweets went out. Obviously, if you're still hating on the decisions that were made in the fourth quarter, that's the problem, because I will give shout out to Tibbs for making the change and keeping Emmanuel Quickley in for that whole fourth quarter. That was a huge a huge coaching decision, but that does not negate the fact that in the third quarter, it was coached and played horribly. Both can be true. Tibbs could have made a great decision in the fourth quarter that helped us to win, but his decisions and our play in the third quarter is also what kept us, in the point that we had to fight to the last minute to win, because those were not done well. So both can be true.
Facts. Eddie, before I pass it over to you, I know we got someone backstage. Give me 1 minute. We're going to bring you up. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know you good to hold off 1 minute. I see we got our boy Rels backstage. What it do? Yo, Rels is an Eagles fan, right?
Yes.
He's still on a high, man. I'm telling you. But, he only got one asterisk this season. He's like, how the hell did we lose to them bum-ass Jets? That's the only team. All right. We weren't going to make this a Jets show. But I'm going to throw it to you, Eddie, because Phil's right, man. We have seen it all season. The third quarter woes are kind of weird. And it's when you think it can't get any worse in the third, someone else proves you wrong in the next game, right? But I agree with you, Phil. That fourth quarter we saw with the Heat, that was a lineup and adjustment you do not expect to see from Tibbs going with this group that was working and him saying, screw it, it's working, keep him in there. IQ is that dude. We all knew, we were begging for it to be re-signed. We're we're going to regret this, and hopefully we don't. But, man, Eddie, would you say that was basically the best game of the season against the Heat as far as overall game?
Best game of the season, best probably comeback in over the last 5 years. I know they came back for, I think they were down 22 versus the Celtics on opening night last year.
Right.
But that was a historic fourth quarter performance by the Knicks. And all the adjustments they made, putting in that small lineup, getting everybody, going. That to me was one of the biggest wins I've seen out of this team in the last 5 years. Big win, but then we had last night, so I'll leave it there.
And then we had last night. Dropping the link in the open panel one more time. Let me switch it up. Let's bring Rels up here. We're already talking Heat and Knicks recap. I want to know what Rels is feeling, man. Rels, let me get you real quick. Turn this back down. Rels, what it do?
Yo, what's going on, family? What's going on?
What up, Rels?
What up?
Well, bro, I know you on a high from your Eagles. That's for sure.
A little 10-1, something like little 10-1.
Just a little something. Just a little. Like, do you sit there, Rels, and ask yourself, like, how the hell did we lose to the New York Jets? yes, I do. I'm like, what the? We could have been 11-0 right now. Seriously, us being the only team.
If I'm gonna lose to a New York team, fuck it. I'd rather been the Jets than the Giants.
There we go. Facts. I'll agree with that one. So, Wells, talk to us, man. How'd you feel after that Knicks and Heat game, bro?
Listen, it was a good, like you guys say, you guys hit on the money. Like, it was a good game. Like, Emmanuel Quickley pretty much coming out party, and you seeing. I like the fact that we didn't give him his money right away, because he got that chip on his shoulder where he's kind of like pissed off. Oh, you don't want to give my money right now? Bet I'm gonna bet on myself even more. So it's kind of like working twofolds. Whereas if we didn't sign him early, it's going to hurt us because we could have had him under contract. But for him, if I'm thinking about the NBA player, you bet the team didn't bet on you because you feel like that. You feel like I've been here, I've been respectful. I know off the court stories that we know of. I'm showing up. I'm trying to be clutch.
Phone call came in right when you were spitting, Rails, and now it's muted. Hold on.
It's muted. Hold on. Can't hear you.
It's muted, Rails. I think when the phone call came in.
There you go.
You know what? Bounce back in. We'll do it that way. I see we got DSJ backstage.
Yes.
I gotta tell you, bro.
What up?
That hat.
Yo, I want that hat, bro.
I
want
it.
I appreciate it. And I got. Hey, listen, I hit you up off the show, and I'll let you know where I got it from.
Yes, sir.
But
what's up, my guy? Appreciate you. Haven't seen you in a minute. Yo, you do too much of this work and life stuff. Like we gotta figure out how to pull you away from that a little bit. What's up, guy?
Hey, listen, enjoying some of life. You know what I'm saying? Enjoying some of work and enjoying some of the Knicks.
Yes, sir.
Only some. So and shout out to you, Eddie, for always coming up fashionably. You know what I'm saying? The shirts are always fire.
On the same panel, bro. I'm like, why'd I show up? I'm all like in my hoodie every time, and these two always looking GQ is ridiculous, bro. Oh wait, hold on. Then we got Rels backstage. He's back.
Yo,
all right, Rels, man, you were just about to start cooking, and then bam, the phone call came in.
Hold up, time out. We're gonna set some rules for those that are in the chat right now. We're doing things a little bit different. All right. So the thing about Knicks Twitter is the only people that can mute stupidity are those that are running the space, and sometimes the people running the space are the ones that are speaking the stupidity. So you're not able to silence the stupid because the stupid is running the show. So we're doing things a little bit differently here. All right. So right now we have a new thing that we're testing out. So $10 super chat. You can mute a panel guest for 5 minutes. This could be their only 5 minutes to shine. They could be 2 minutes into a take and you say, this is absolute garbage. I don't want to listen to the person. Super chat them the hell out. All right. 15 minutes. 15 gets them 10 minutes out. 20 minutes out. If you don't want to see someone, and it can actually even be one of us, and you could be like, yo, that's the stupidest take in the world. I don't want to hear you talk for the rest of the show. You could $50 a super chat and bounce that person out of the freaking room. So if you want to silence somebody, here's your chance to silence a stupid take. and actually just vibe with the people you want to vibe with for the rest of the show. So good luck, Rels. May the odds be forever in your favor.
Look, I told Phil and Hector when we started doing this last week, I said, look, I might actually purposely try to get kicked off. Someone want to pay $50 to take my ugly ass off the screen. I am okay with it. All right.
Crazy.
Can I start out by saying RJ Barrett was complete dog shit last night?
Oh, someone
Eddie tried to go early.
He looks real slow. He looks like garbage, since he's came back. So
no, it's
just want to
started.
throw that out there.
Here's my counter to that, Eddie, because offensively, he was trash.
Yes, defensively better.
Defensively,
He could have stopped Booker on that last shot, DJ. Come on.
Yeah, but I don't think many people.
But you know what the problem was though on that last play. If you look at it carefully, the person that could have slid over and put their hands up. I've never seen anybody guard with your hands down. If we're gonna place blame, on that specific play alone, then Randle has to take the primary. If you want to sit here and blame RJ for not being able to recognize the screen coming and, just, overall recognition, you can give him that. But the final shot, the primary has to go to Randle because you didn't switch over quick enough. And when you were there, you didn't put your hands up to at least contest the shot. Just contest it. Because, again, Booker's a phenomenal, offensive threat.
Yeah.
So there's no guarantee that putting a hand up alone would have stopped the shot. But contest it at least. Because at the end of the day, again, and I'm going to reiterate this point, I've never seen anybody guard with your hands to your side.
DJ Steele's dropping a $4.99 super chat. Only guarding you do with hands down is guarding the family jewels. How you doing? What's up, guys? Showing love to the crew.
So Steele, here's the one thing I'll do. I'll play devil's advocate, okay? Because
you know what? Hold on, Phil. I'm gonna let you finish, but it looks like somebody else ready to join the convo. Tony is in the building.
What up?
What it do? What it do? How we doing? Morning, Brew.
I know Thanos is gonna say.
I came up here for my cup, my morning brew, and right away I hear the bullshit. The hate.
Hold on,
Tony.
I just want to say, while you guys is doing this, is there any way to put the clip out there to show where the man's hands are? Can we do that?
We want to get our. I'll pull it up. Go ahead, fellas.
Yeah, so we'll pull it up.
We'll go to Tony.
Yeah, this is what I want to say because I know I as soon as I saw Tony saying, "How do I get up here?" I knew what Thanos was coming to do. So I wanna pipe Chachi down for a second before he goes crazy. All right. So to Delano's point, I understand that it did not show the effort fully at that last defensive play, but I'm gonna call the play from start to finish. Because RJ's my guy, and I think Randle had a great third quarter, so I'm not throwing shade at Randle because he showed up in that second half. But I think it was a combination of both of them, which is why Devin Booker got that shot off, okay? It wasn't one or the other. Because if you look at the start of that play, it looked like RJ Barrett's feet were cemented in the ground.
Correct.
Booker had already started moving, and RJ was still completely still. So he did a great job stopping him throughout the game. But in that moment, RJ Barrett was way too slow to start to follow Devin Booker. He should have been on his toes that whole time because he would have been able to follow him out. And then it would have been, an easier contest for him. The reason that Randle had the closer contest was because RJ let him get out of his grips. That was RJ's fault there. So RJ dropped the ball in the beginning of that play, and then I feel like Randle did not do enough at that second half of the play. But either way, Devin Booker was going to make that shot unless someone blocked him. And I don't see either one of them actually blocking him.
I felt like RJ almost left his toes 3 times. Like he was getting deked. He was about to go. Like he was flat-footed, like you said. I felt like he got tricked by Devin Booker. Again, I saw the play once, and from what I remember, it looked to me like RJ was on skates a little bit. That was just my take.
Yep.
I will say this before, and then we're gonna throw it to Rels, DSJ, Tony. I see G Money join the chat as well. I will say this: the hands went up on the replay. He did go up after the shot was in the air. They did, Tony. I will give you that. His hand did go up. Here's my thing, and here's where I might get some shit. Okay, and I don't care. Y'all know I don't care what people think about my takes. Is there anybody okay with the fact of just saying, yo, Booker threw up a pretty damn good shot? It took that for them to even pull off the win, right? I'm just saying, like, granted, yeah, could we have played better D? Listen, that man got it in. It was a great shot. He did not second guess himself like half of our team does when they get the ball on the perimeter. He was confident in his shot, and he said, if anybody's going to pull it off, let it be me. We're having a different conversation, all of us right now, by literally inches if Jalen Brunson's shot goes off. Was anybody mad about that shot he took? I wasn't mad. That's the guy I want the ball. That's the man I want taking that shot. And we're not talking air ball. We're not talking, oh, that was a horrible shot. We're talking inches. So for me, I give Devin Booker his props, yo. He was there. I don't blame Randle. I don't blame Julius. RJ, because there's more to the issues of that game yesterday than that shot. Right. Go ahead, Rails.
First of all, shout out to your hoodie because I love The Office, by the way.
Yes, sir.
Yo, listen, I agree with you. The shot was made, right? It was a hell of a shot. Like, what else can you do about that? The game wasn't lost by that shot. The game was lost early on, right? And that's from the defensive sets. I didn't watch the game initially. I had to go back last night to watch the game. And it's like, we get stagnant. We go from one game, like the Miami game, where it's like, we here, we click, we good. Let's build on that. And then we go back to old habits. And I just don't understand why we can't stop, kick the old habits. Stay on this way of passage. Like I was telling, shout out to my brother Billy. I was saying this last night in our space. Every time we under 20 assists, we damn near lose all the time. Anytime we have 25 or more assists, we have single digits losses. This is, and it mind boggles me, whereas that has to be talked about. Yes, I understand we got to make shots, but you got to make shots, but you don't have to take shots that's hard. Let's get some easy buckets, because the more shots you take, you're going to make some. But we're not setting up opportunities. At least give Mitch has single digits points. I said, Tony's been my witness. I say this all the time. We could all glorify, we love Mitch. Yeah, cool, but every time he go against a foreigner, or every time he go against me, Eddie said this shit last night, he go against someone that's like top 7, he never produces. My thing is like this. If I'm the point guard and I play point guard, I'm going to get my big man, I'm going to get him at least a double-double. Let me get his 10, 12 points out the way first, at least in the first and the second quarters, so that way we understand that he might not get the ball unless he's grabbing the offensive rebound and he can take it right back up to the bar. I'm going to get him sub early, so that 10 and 12 points can be counted for later. And the problem is his points is never accounted for. Then you play on, if RJ's having a fucked up game, now you playing on 2 and 5. Then that's what you're only relying on Randle and Brunson, because we don't know what we're doing right now with Grimes, because Grimes is in this place of purgatory, whereas I personally think he needs to come off the bench so that way he doesn't feel like he has to, quote-unquote, gel in the starting lineup. He could be a little bit more himself and get his confidence back up, maybe move Quickley or whoever into the starting lineup, because even if you have Quickley and Grimes come off the bench, you got your 1-2 punch. He can have a running mate. Grimes can't have a running mate right now because we got focus on all the other 3 guys that's ahead of him.
Yeah. And Rels, we're going to talk on the Grimes thing soon, and open that up to the panel. But right now I feel like you're my spirit animal. Because
hold on, Phil. I don't mean to cut you off. Hold on, because he's giving us a live look from Puerto Rico. Our boy,
Rico!
What's good?
I need some white Henny. Bring that back.
I got you.
They actually just passed it. You could buy it here now, Ralph.
Yo,
Yeah.
I heard that, but I thought somebody was bullshitting me.
Nah,
no, it's
I
in Porto
I
right now.
just cop.
Tony, I talk to you later. I need you to send me some. We don't got that up here in the bougie ass Dutchess County yet.
Yeah. So Rels, I feel like you're my spirit animal because in the last 2 episodes, I've said as soon as we pass 23 assists, we always win. As soon as it's like within the teens or just break 20, we lose because our biggest strength is, whether you like him or not, Julius Randle bully ball and Jalen Brunson driving to the basket. But those 2 things are most powerful when people are also worried about the pass because it's not so predictable. And so when we throw those passes and we get those assists, that allows for the strength of our 2 best players to do what they do best. Otherwise, like you saw like last night, you have 2 absolute trash quarters of, Randall being defended, or Jalen Brunson having a hard time in certain games, not last night, but then you get opportunities like yesterday. You saw a little bit more ball movement, a little more team basketball in that 3rd quarter. What happened? Julius Randle opens up. Julius Randle has the best quarter of, his game. So for me, it makes no sense that we divert from the things that are helping us win. Like if it's helping us win, why are we not sticking to it? That's the frustrating part. But Tony,
I disagree though with one thing though. If we you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I disagree. We everybody's talking. Oh, we got to get more assists. The bottom line is we don't hit shots. We're dead last in the league in field goals. That's it. If you continue to miss shots, you're gonna fucking lose. And last night our problem was rebounding. The first time we got out rebounded. We got out rebounded on the offensive glass.
By 9 points. By 9.
That's our strong suit, right? We miss shots, but we get the offensive rebounds. Last night that wasn't the case. Phoenix had 20 second chance points. We had 16. We get 4 more, we win the fucking game. It's simple as that. We need another shooter.
I agree, but even Jalen Brunson shoots better when he doesn't have to be the one that only creates his own shot. He's been doing great in catch and shoot situations all season. So even ball movement back to Jalen Brunson eventually gives more opportunities for good shots. It's the one person touches the ball and we force a shot situations.
The hero
ball.
I'm gonna toss it over. Guys, I'm going to toss it over to DSJ, and then we're going to go to Tony. Real quick, Double A with the $4.99 super chat. We barely beat Heat, got behind by double digits. Again, Suns were putting ourselves in a hole from the gate. Can't argue that, Double A. It's the truth. We're fighting from behind by our own mistakes. And we'll jump into a lot of that conversation, what you said, Eddie, because there's a lot to pull from what you said, Phil said, and Rels. Because, Rels, you mentioned the double-double, right?
Right.
Yeah, and I'm cool if he doesn't have the points. If Mitch is grabbing those offensive rebounds for us, that's what's helped us stand out and have those second chances, right? And don't even get me started on the free throws because we hit 4 of those. We have a tied game last night.
I think it was like 71, and that last time, please forgive me if I'm wrong.
I
think we had like 71, and last night they had like 78.
Yeah, we missed 9 freaking free throws last night too. DSJ, go ahead, bro. And by the way, I want you to know, DSJ, in the chat, it looks like Wiz is down to find out how much it costs to just get you to speak forever facts, bro. So give us a price, Wiz. Whatever you want to pay, Wiz. He said, how do I unmute him forever? And shout out to the For the Love of the Game in there, CPD artists, everybody that's jumped in. We'll do another roll call here shortly. Go ahead, DSJ.
Yeah, shout out to the bros and everything. I think part of the problem too is the guys that we're paying. Josh Hart is an energy guy, and that's great, right? I don't know if that's $19 million great. IQ is having a career year, but he kind of had a career year last year. So at this point, I'm looking at the continuous progression, and I'm wondering why we haven't rewarded that progression before trying to bring anybody else on with the extension. That's been the biggest catalyst to me this season from the very beginning. I'm not a fan of letting IQ go to restricted free agency. And I'm pretty sure if people heard me last year, I was saying that I'm worried that if they don't do what they need to do and secure Emmanuel Quickley by the time that it opens up, you know what I'm saying, the extension talks opens up, we might mess around and lose him to a team like Chicago. Thank goodness that Chicago is just a bad team all around too, because at this point in time, I mean, everything that you would want for him exists over there outside of the money. A starting role in the lineup could be his at the point guard position because they don't have a point guard. Again, flexibility in an offense can exist for him over there because they really don't rely on anybody but Levine and DeRozan. So at this point in time, I'm hoping that he has loyalty to New York, that he loves New York enough to where he'll consider staying even in restricted free agency because that guy's become very invaluable coming off the bench.
Damn, that shit went off.
Listen, we got the right to match any offer, DSJ. So that's all that matters with IQ.
Can I dig in?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, on the Quickley point, as far as flexibility, I know you were talking more about it like in the play, you know what I'm saying? I agree with you there, but I feel like at this point, they're doing what gives them the most flexibility as far as, you know, possibly being a star, which I think it's not necessary, but I think obviously, you know, they got their ears open for something like that. And as Eddie just kind of said, he took the thunder from it because, like, at the end of the day, I know we want him signed and everything, but there was other needs and other things that we had to do, and we didn't have to do quickly. You can wait, restrict free agency, and just you gonna give him the money anyway. It's not like he's gonna push over a number. You wasn't gonna get him at a discount with what he gave us last year. So I don't really see like the craziest issue. And again, it leaves room for flexibility. If the kid is going off and something comes up at the deadline, I don't really want to lose the kid, but who knows? Who knows what's to come? You know what I'm saying? So I kind of understand it, and it really don't worry me because, you know, you could just match it at the end of the day. And what else are we touching on? RJ,
I kind of hit that same point for my wife called.
Yeah, let me go on RJ for a second. Love RJ Barrett. Most, you know, that follow my takes, I never give up on him. I want him on this team. I think he finishes that contract here. He was playing amazing. There was the migraines. I don't believe the migraines. I think it's something. And I mean, I thought he was playing a little timid on it, and then he ended the Miami game so great. I kind of was like, maybe I'm wrong, but then again, I mean, he plays last night, and I don't know. Something's not there as far as how he was the first bunch of games. The aggressiveness, you know, I don't know. There's something definitely off. I think maybe I'm caping for him. Maybe I'm making excuses. I definitely don't mean to, but it's kind of how I see it. They kill us on the glass. We got to hit free throws, shooting like in the 60s, you know, for the season. You're not going to win like that, bro. You can't be a serious team. You got to knock down free throws. I mean, what else? Yeah, the old rebounds, we got smashed. I think they put up 8 offensive rebounds, I'm pretty sure, in the first quarter. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure. That's not even us. We're the best fucking rebounded team. You know what I mean? For them to do that, Gordon started getting going. Randle gave us a great third, kind of put us back in the game and made it winnable. So I feel like everything earlier than that, you kind of washed it away at that point. Once you grab a lead at some point in the fourth quarter, I feel like any mistakes that had before it, you know, it takes away from them. I get it. We talk about them. There's something like little points we could touch on, but overall, I don't really think they mean much. You know what I'm saying? Happened there in the fourth. I don't know. Honestly, Quickley played good. Jalen played phenomenal. Randle, he did his thing in the third quarter to get us back in. It was rolling. So I'll go with
let me do this then, Tony, basing off of that, because that's all. I mean, Tony's in here.
I think we lost Tony.
Tony, we lost him. All right. So what I was gonna say was, we all going into the season, we all knew what we felt about IQ, right? We all look at IQ as that was the super six man right there. We knew when IQ comes in, we get the spark that we expect with that second unit. Right. We also all felt, for the most part, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, for the most part, we all felt like, IQ is one of those guys that could be a starter somewhere. Doesn't work right now where we're at, but we know we don't want to lose a player like that can play. You out, DSJ? All right. He had a bounce. But you brought up Randle, Tony. And the reason I want to talk about that for a little bit, and Phil will go, we'll throw to G Money, and then we'll throw to Phil and Eddie. I saw Macri put out a tweet and said, if you can just use one word to describe Julius Randle, what would it be? And I'm going to tell y'all, like, going through that thread, I was on the floor dying laughing. Granted, I may have had
I'm going to give you my word, and then you tell me what you saw. My word is, my word is hated, but go ahead. My word is hated, but go ahead.
Tony ready to choose violence. He said, hated. All right. G Money, where you at with, because again, amazing third quarter from Randle. Right?
17 points.
No one can question that. He was in his bag. You saw the bully ball coming out. But let's be real, guys. We call it how it is. A lot of us were like, damn, where was that the first two quarters? That's the part where you can use words like frustrating, because so many of us that support and love Randle and know what he can do. It's like, man, where was that the first two quarters? Right? Because guys, we can sit here and talk about this game all day long. We can't shy away from the fact there was no KD. There was no Beal. And it feels like we're a team that has to be on for all four quarters for us to not to have to fight to come back every single game. G Money, where you at with Randle? Go ahead, bro. You've been silent. You've been patient. G Money in the building.
Yo, what's shaking and baking, cool cast? What's cracking, slacking? Nice to meet you, Eddie. Nice to see you again, Phil. Nice to see you again, Jigga. Nice to meet you, Rels and Tony.
What's going on, King?
What's going on? What's going on? Please subscribe. Please subscribe and smash the likes. With Randle, it was kind of like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of game last night. First half, he was out of it. He looked lost out there, lost in the sauce defensively. Third quarter, he was more aggressive in the block, killing cats in the post. Salute, Bike Eddie. He was killing cats in the post, using his strength and his size. Fourth quarter, he was so-so. But third quarter, I thought he was great in the third and banging the block, using his strength, using his skill set. The mid-range shot game and ones was eclipsing the Suns, no pun intended, in the paint, though. And I thought this is the Randle that we needed. It is kind of frustrating when he doesn't play great in the first half. At the same time, it happens sometimes. Sometimes we can always get a rewind, So it's like he just got to be better on that. But at the same time, he turned around the third quarter, though. If he could just utilize the mid-range shot, not jack up threes, use your strength and use his athleticism, we can legitimately get that all-star Randle that we saw last year, or at least close to that.
I like it. Go ahead, Eddie. I'm gonna go to you, then throw to Phil, and then we'll go Rels.
All right. One word to describe Randle would be shit.
Is that your word?
My word, streaky.
I'm gonna say inconsistent. Right? Inconsistent.
Oh my.
He's a guy that, we expect the world out of, but he's not an all-world player, right? He's a piece. He's a foundational piece of this core. He's a very, very good player. But I think sometimes as Knicks fans, we expect more out of him than he actually is. And so far from this season, I like him. I like him getting other players involved, him not playing hero ball. I like that. I like the fact when he goes off, but the problem is he can't always go off, and he's not the most efficient player in the world. And that's why I think this team needs to bring in another guy that could score. We need to bring in another option, man, because when he doesn't have it, We need to be able to go to somebody else. And the same goes for RJ Barrett, man. I will say the exact same thing out of him, man. He's inconsistent and he's unreliable too at times. I know he looks great at other times too, but the same thing goes, man. We need another option. That's my take, man.
Phil, I'm going to throw it to you, and then we'll go over to Rails. But before we do that, a couple people join up in the chat. Let's shout out. Sean Powers is in the building. What to do, my guy? You got Yonkers Racing, who said, Rails, I'm here for you. And they went with the word emotional in the chat. Nick P is in the building. To be honest, I think we're asking Randall and Brunson to too much. That's a good conversation to have. I think we should jump on that in a little bit. Black Eddie is in the building. What it do, my guy? Appreciate you in there. Appreciate everybody showing love. Guys, if you want to jump up on the open panel, come give your takes. It's a safe space, okay? It's safe. Yeah. Come up here. We want to hear your thoughts. Phil, I have a feeling people are going to want to throw some down in a second. Go ahead, Phil.
All right. So I'm going to backtrack first, and I'm going to talk on what we talked about when it comes to our rebounding. That to me is a little bit crazy, because what we saw the other game is very frustrating when you have a guy like Mitch, who we're all voting for as like this monumental improvement year, and then he goes up against a guy that typically is not looked at as like a big threat in the paint. Like Jusuf Nurkic is not one of those guys that you put on a list of people that I expect Mitchell Robinson to have a hard time bodying up against. Like, that was weird to me to watch. Like, you would think that Nurkic all of a sudden tapped into like Jokic style power. Like, I just don't understand it. When it's the Jokic's of the league, or even the Bams, because Bam is a lot faster off the dribble than Mitch is able to typically defend. But when you go with the Nurkic's, that doesn't make any sense to me. Free throws. I love Mitch to death, and I'm very, very happy with his play. But this needs to get fixed. Like, if a team wants to get us out of, like, scoring, all they have to do is put Mitch on the line. Like, growing up, I always thought the worst thing that I'd see from a free throw perspective was Shaquille O'Neal. But to look at the fact that Shaquille O'Neal actually averaged 56% from the free throw line in his career, and then you look at Mitch's, and Mitch's 35% from free throw, like, I never thought it was going to get worse than watching Shaq at the free throw line. Mitch has proven me completely wrong. Okay, that's just crazy to me. That's crazy to me that Shaq could be 20% more than anybody at a free throw.
That hurts when you say it out loud. When you put the actual number on it, you're like, damn, 20% better? Because you can close your eyes and see the Shaq shot. You're like, damn. And then you say Mitch is worse.
Nasty word.
Yeah, it's insane. When it comes to Randle, we lost my guy Tony, who thinks that I hate Randle, but I don't. But for me, the Randle thing, if I had to use one word, it would be unreliable. Solely for the fact that there are certain games where he comes through and you're like, yo, that was what we needed. But the fact that you can't say going into this game, that's what we're going to get from Randle is the concerning part for me all the time, is that you don't know which Randle you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to get the Randle that is, back and forth, or the Randle that's going to spend the next two possessions still arguing with the ref over a foul call that when you watch the replay, yo, son, it wasn't a foul. Like, get over it. Like, it's insane. That last game in Miami, I took a screenshot because he supposedly got fouled, tracked down the ref the whole time, arms up like, what do you mean it's not a foul? They go down, they score, come back down, Mitchell Robinson gets fouled, and Mitch is at the free throw line, and Julius Randle is walking over to the ref again to complain about the play that happened 3 plays ago, asking why he didn't get the call. That's not going to work for me. When your mind is stuck on 3 plays ago that you didn't get your call, that means you've been inactive for 2 plays. That's frustrating. So that's why I say unreliable, because if we got the Randle that we all actually love, game in and game out, there would be nothing to complain about. But the complaint is not that he's a trash player, because he's not. You don't put up those kind of numbers because you're garbage. It's not that, he can't play ball. It's that he's unreliable. You don't know which version of Randle you're going to get sometimes, and that's frustrating.
I'm gonna throw it over to Rels here in a sec. I want to shout out. What up, Just Knicks joined the panel. Double A. What it do, my guy?
What's good, fellas? What's good? What's good?
What's going on,
Money,
Kings?
back again, baby. How you?
Salute.
Appreciate
Good.
you guys jumping up.
Salute.
Let's go ahead and go. Let's go, Rels, Double A, and Just Knicks, and let's hear your thoughts on Randle. Go ahead, Rels.
Yeah, shout out to all you guys again. Shout out to the Kings. Shout out to my sister Nikki in the chat and everybody else. Yeah, listen, when it comes to Randle, we already know what he is. He's not a number one, but he's put in a position as a number one, right? And like I tell everybody on this Knicks Twitter spaces, like, we can't keep complaining about him. At the end of the day, he's quote unquote our number one, or you want to make it Brunson. Him complaining about not getting a call, it's nothing new. He's been doing it forever. The problem is that you see him doing some good where he can mask his craziness, quote unquote. So when you see things not going well, we're not clicking, it's something missing. Now you're seeing what he's been doing since game one. It's the fact that the team has been winning, continuity, which is the popular word here in the streets, and you're seeing things that he's trying to do, which is pass the ball early off in the top of the shot clock. So you're seeing his positives, but it's like a negative is always going to knock down a couple of blocks of positivity that he's been doing until we get a solid number one. And a solid number one, in my opinion, is someone who could create off the dribble. It could be a wing, a two guard, whatever, a solid number one. When it comes to Mitch, listen, at the end of the day, it is like my sister Nikki said in the super chat. She was like, Mitch didn't catch the damn ball. Mm-hmm. But how many times are we going to keep making excuses? Well, he's like year 4 on this team. Like I said last night, to Eddie's point, like I said last night, we can't keep making excuses. It's cool to make excuses year 1, maybe year 2. Year 3 and 4, yeah. I'm a veteran. I don't want to hear excuses no more. Because at the end of the day, we can blame the coaches. We can blame coaching staff. You in that gym alone before you go to Knicks training camps. So what are you not doing? How come that I can see certain people get training coaches and shoot better at the free throw? You told me that you want to be part. You cry on Instagram that you want to be part of the offense. How? You're a liability. It's the reason why Hartenstein plays in front of you in the fourth quarter and intense situations. Until you really can show people that you can catch the damn ball, hit a couple of free throws, then you no longer be a liability. Until then, it's going to be the same shit. We're going to be happy he scored 8 points, 14 rebounds, but it's not good enough to me because now we made it to the second round of playoffs and we have a desire to go further. We got to get his point average up a little bit, and I say that do that at least in the first half to get him out the way so that way he can get some confidence. Because what happens if you give a player confidence? They won't play hard. Right? They're not. If you don't give them confidence, they're not going to play hard. They're going to just do their job and say it's not my responsibility. Somebody mess up a defensive coverage instead of me playing hard and clean up their assignment. Randle's Randle. It is what it is right now.
And you know what? We'll get into more things too, because I think another piece people don't really pay attention to, and we'll start that conversation after we hear from Double A and Just Knicks. But there's also bad habits that we all know he has. Okay, and you guys know I'm a Randle fan. I got the jersey, okay? I am a Randle guy, okay? I'm not going to sit there and just defend him blindly because just like I talk about my Yankees, I don't give a shit about the name on the back of the jersey. There isn't one. I care about the team. I care about the squad, okay? But there's bad habits that you now can see that this man has put into our core that other guys are starting to replicate as well. We'll jump into that in a second. Double A. First of all, bro, I want to thank you because you've been showing us so much love in the chat over the last couple of weeks, bro. Truly appreciate the support.
Trying to. Got to look out for my homeboy, Phil.
And by the way, if y'all didn't check out Double A, he was on the Knicks Talks, still Knicks fans, throwing down some takes on Saturday. Double A wasn't playing around, all right?
Ryan is gracious enough to let my old ass spit my stuff.
Us old people got to stick together, man. What you mean, Double A?
Julius Randle.
Let's go.
If you're going to look at his stats as points, rebounds, of course, he's a phenomenal ball player. But like Phil said, if you look at the negativity parts, okay, has anybody brought up the points he gives up? I mean, if you score 25 and you give up 30, you ain't doing nothing for us.
The bad
You know what I
outweighs the
mean?
good. Mhm.
And you know, playing, he plays when he wants to play. That's what I see. He just plays what he wants to play. Now, I too am a Randle fan because he's a family man, and I love that concept. And you know, he is the best power forward we've had in a long time. We got to give it that. But you know, the fact is you know, you got to play every day. And part of the problem, I put it in the super chat, is because of who we are, we need him to be on every game,
Right.
every quarter. We need him to be on. He can't take, you know, we're not a team like the Lakers that has LeBron and AD and all this stuff, you know, where AD can have a day off or LeBron can have a day off and they still can get the W. I mean, it's obvious when Julius is not on, we're trailing, we're losing, you know. And the last thing I want to say is with Q, you got to remember, man, Obi Toppin was his blood brother. That's his boy.
Yep.
And if Indiana throws some bucks at him, a chance to start and a chance to be back with his buddy, you know, that, you know, we got to figure out how much we want to pay a sub. Do we want to pay a sub $25 million? You know, he might be worth 25, 30 million to Indiana if they're going to start him, but he won't be worth that to us coming off the bench. We just can't afford $25, $30 million off the bench. Our bench is already taking up a lot of our cap space. You know, we're paying Dante, we're paying Hart, you know, it's just not there, you know, and we are still having trouble with long, tall teams. You know,
Damn,
these guys,
I said that last night, right?
These guys that were filling in for KD and them on the Suns, they ain't no superstars, man. But they was balling, man. They was jumping over us. They were getting every rebound, and you know, we need that factor. I got to disagree with you on Mitch. Remember, Mitch, we're playing. The problem is right now we're playing 3-on-5 on offense.
Yes,
because of Grimes,
100%.
because of Mitch.
Yeah, that's
So
what I
that
said
makes
before.
it
Yeah.
hard. That makes it hard for Randle. That makes it hard for Brunson. We're playing 305, so that brings out Mitch's problems. But man, you got to be real, bro. No Mitch, we could be 2 and 8.
Oh,
That's
easy.
true.
Yeah,
That's fair.
You can't argue that. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. And so I want to
just
say
before
one
you
thing
gotta
on
change.
Double A's point. So one thing that you were talking about with Emmanuel Quickley, I understand people's like whole thing on like we didn't have to act because we have the bird rights and this, that, and whatever. But it also does something that makes me go, okay, if I've worked for a company and I've given my time and my effort, and I look at them now promoting, but they're promoting from outside and they're bringing somebody in when I'm the one who's done all the work that they've asked me to get to that point, that makes me not have an unbridled loyalty to that company. If another company offers me something, I'm not looking and going, yeah, but these are my guys, because you didn't show me that I'm your guy. You know, like you didn't show me that your loyalty to me was the same as my loyalty to you. So I'm going to look elsewhere. You know, I'm not one of those guys, you know, like you look at it with Josh Hart. Josh Hart was willing to take a smaller piece because he already knew that we were going to bring him back for the longer piece. You know, like we already knew that was set in stone. Emmanuel Quickley doesn't have that certainty, so there's not going to be that loyalty. And there are players that can give him what he's asking for. Our guy Sky Zoo said it great when he was on the episode. He was like, how in the name are you going to say that you are building around Jalen Brunson and then you pay your sixth man as much or almost as much as your starting point guard that has gotten you to this point? You're not going to like pay that kind of money coming off the bench when Jalen Brunson is getting what Jalen Brunson is getting. But I don't see that happening. I don't see us being able to match what some of these other people will do. And then my last point that I want to say based off of what Double A was talking about is you look at the fact that we struggled against guys that I didn't even know their names last night. And it did have to do with their length and being able to score on our guys. Like we talk about how length hasn't really been an issue throughout the season. Well, we haven't played a ton of length teams. The few that we have, it has been an issue. Like, and so when we look at when it does matter, imagine if Kevin Durant was there yesterday, like what would it have been, even a fourth quarter up until the last minute kind of game? I don't know. I can't say it is, but we love being able to say when Julius Randle's out, like, oh, they only beat us by 4 and Jew wasn't there, or they only beat us by 6 and RJ was out. We love to use that, but we hate to acknowledge it when it's another team that they did not have.
I
Kevin
said
Durant
this last night.
So we just got to be careful with that kind of stuff.
You know what? Speaking of guys that do well, who was that? Who was that damn rookie on the Heat?
Oh, Jacquez or whatever the fuck his
What
name.
the? Why we always find somebody that comes to the Garden just all of a sudden makes a name for themselves? I couldn't even pronounce homeboy's name. Right? Listen, I left it. I know we won that game, but I left that game like, go sign that kid. I was like, whoever the hell he is, sign him because he's shooting and he wasn't scared to.
All season. He's been balling all season, and someone made a great point, and a lot of people got upset about the point, but I thought it was a genius point, that the Heat, who beat us in the playoffs, then went out and got a great player in the draft. And us, who lost to the Heat, didn't, and like, one thing I'll say to Double A's point, we always preach consistency as a strength. But if Julius Randle is not consistent game in and game out, that is also a problem for us, because we're banking on continuity. We're banking on consistency. And for that to work, we're not going the star route, which that star can turn it on whenever they want. But that works because that person can always turn it on, in those moments.
Eddie said that last night too.
Devin Booker last night. So if we're not going for that route, the only way our plan works is if all the players show up and give their effort night in and night out. And
there's two things I want to say, but Eddie, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Listen, as far as when it comes to IQ and the contract, with being compared to Brunson, again, yesterday's prices are not today's prices. We've seen all these salaries go up, exponentially over the last few years. So if we have to pay IQ $27 million a year, so be it. He's going to get more than Brunson because now the contracts are worth more money. As far as Randle goes, listen, Randle, I think we expect too much out of this guy. I think we expect too much out of him. I mean, he's not the most consistent player in the world. That's just who he is. That's who he's been for his entire career. He's an
But that's what's kind of been forced down our throat, though, right, Eddie? I mean, realistically, like, we've been pitched that Randle is the guy they're going to stay loyal to. Randle is our all-star. Like, we can't take away the brownie points for the great things he's done, but we as a fan base, we don't look at him as that number one, but we have been sold and told that technically he is our number one till Brunson came, right? The conversation most of last year was still, whose team is it? Like, that's crazy that we were still having that conversation last year. And here we are again saying, hey, if you're supposed to be the one, how do you not show up to the third quarter?
Listen, man, he's not a number one. He's not a number two. In an ideal world, this guy would be a number 3 or a number 4 option.
But here's my thing, though. Regardless of what title we put on it, right? And this isn't a, guys in the chat, this isn't a bash Julius Randle conversation or anything like that. It's calling out things we see. But one thing is, I really feel we're at that point where this team goes as Julius Randle goes a lot of times. If Julius isn't doing what we need from him, then we know the outcome.
But look at RJ Barrett last night, for example. We're all talking about the great start he got off to. He played great.
He hasn't been back.
Player. And now we look at him the last few games. He looks like slow-mo. He looks slow. He doesn't look good. I think the knee might be hurt. There's something to that. We need these guys to pitch in order for us to win and get to where we've got to be. All these guys got to be more consistent, man. And that's the Knicks' biggest problem. They don't show up every night. And it's not just Randle. It's Barrett. And IQ, to me, I think IQ has been one of our most consistent players. That's why I'm going to pay IQ, because he always shows up. Yes, he has a bad game here and there, but he's more consistent than RJ and Randle. He is.
So my question to you, Eddie, because I do agree. I do agree that everyone has to show up, like for this team to win. But one thing everyone has said, including you, is that, and once again, like I said, I gave Randle his props for yesterday because that third quarter, we don't win that game. You know, we don't get close to winning that game without his third quarter.
Hey, put us
and there's been certain games that I've absolutely loved. He's used his bully ball to draw people in to start increasing his assists. There's some games he has the most assists. So there are certain games, and for people that only like to like look at highlights of like when I talk about Randle, watch the episodes where I actually give him his praise of having some of the best games I've ever seen of him in an orange and blue uniform this year. However, the reason I said like unpredictable on what we're going to get, inconsistent, whatever, is we all talked about RJ Barrett did not show up or look good yesterday offensively at all. However, everybody said, though, that his contribution defensively, though, was great. You know, like he played hard defense yesterday. So my problem is that when we talk about, you know, Randle didn't have a good offensive game, we're never saying the words, but his defense was spot on. Like he still showed effort in every other area of the game. That's the one difference is like, I still feel like RJ not playing well offensively was RJ not playing well offensively, but he still was committed to the team and trying to get the victory, you know, like for the team. That's the one inconsistency that I would love to see change from Randle is like, okay, you didn't get the call, but the team is still playing ball. Get with your team. Worry about that at a timeout. Worry about that at another point. You know, like get back, fight with your boys because your boys are fighting. Imagine being at a fight and being upset that something happened and you're not actually there while your squad's getting pounded. Like you got to be there in the fight. Worry about everything else outside, you know? And so that's what I want to see from Julius Randle is being able to say at all times, he's giving 100%, whether he's scoring or not, he's through and through doing well because when he's present, he is a threat, you know, like even if he's not scoring well, people will still send a double team because if he does flip that switch and start scoring, that's not where they want the ball. You know, they're fine with him in the mid range. They're not so worried about his 3-point shooting if he's not been shooting well. But as soon as he gets the ball in the paint, a team is sending a double team, which is a great threat for us because then he can dish it out. But if he's complaining to the ref and he's not getting the ball in the paint to draw a double team, it doesn't do us any well. You know, so just be present in the actual game. And I wanted to hear from Billy. I don't know what just happened.
Yeah, Billy, I'm about to say, hit the link again. I was just turning your mic on. Get back up here. Rels, you driving and stuff, man. We're going to let you go, man. We need you to survive, bro. Give us a take before you go, my guy.
No doubt, man. No doubt. I had to go to I'm part of the Chamber of Commerce for Young Professionals here in Dutchess County.
Nice.
So I had to go to like this lunch thing. Listen, I just want to say, shout out to you guys, man. Y'all keep doing this stuff, man. I always support. You know, you always support therapy and sports. Nikki, Billy, Bully, and the rest of the crew. Love all you guys. Eddie, you know, my guy forever. Eddie had some great points last night in the space that we did. I pretty much aligned with everything he said about, you know, getting height at the power forward and how that's going to be a problem for us. I do Denver out there. Some people got sensitive because I do Denver, but I just do a team that has height in them. So, you know, again, love you guys. Shout out to everybody in the super chat.
Appreciate
you guys later.
Later, homie. Drive safe. Listen,
safe.
You know what? We're going to throw the double A. You know what's funny is how is it at 41 years old, we still have to be talking about size does matter? Like, that shit's funny. Only the Knicks fan base. Go ahead, double A.
Well, Eddie, you made one of the biggest points today. We definitely need more punch. We need another scoring option. Definitely, without a doubt. We need somebody to take the pressure off of Jalen and somebody to let Julius say, hey, relax, you know, rebound and get the bully ball points for us, you know, but we definitely need some firepower. Did I get muted already? Did somebody pay to mute my ass already?
No.
Maybe it's the Spike Lee thing I'm putting down, you know, background.
Shout out to Apollo in the chat. What it do, my guy? Appreciate you checking in. Guard up Knicks. Go follow our boys. They throw out some amazing content.
You bring up a great point.
Quickley, right? and going back to Quickley, okay, he had to look back and see Hart get the bag, and then that wasn't bad enough. Okay, deal with that. Hart's important, but then he had to go see Dante get the bag. So he's saying, like, what about me? You know, do you guys really feel that strong about me? And then you diss my boy. You know, my boy is gone. You know, so say hypothetically Indiana comes up and says, look, quick, we're going to start you off ball with Halliburton in the backcourt, and you're going to be with your boy Quickley, and we're going to give you $30 million a year. He's gone.
Yeah.
We can always match it.
Are we going to pay somebody $30 million to come off the bench? And like Phil said, Brunson, come on, man, we don't piss Brunson off. You know, even though I'm sure Brunson knows that he got it. You know, when it's his time, he's going to get paid with us. But still, you know.
Let me play this real quick. Since we're on the IQ conversation, let me go ahead and play this real quick.
Yeah, I've been obviously around a lot of guys throughout my career, but I feel like this team, there's a lot of just dogs, like chip on their shoulder type people, people that bring it every single day, high character, high motor type players on this team. So when you have a lot of those, you're never out of any game. So,
I mean, he says all the right things, right? And you want to tell yourself that, yes, he'll stick around even if he comes off the bench. Yes, we can match these other offers, but if you know you're not viewed that way because the fan base views him that way, then I agree with you, Double A. What is the biggest thing that's going to keep him here? Like, we got to hope and pray it's the fact that it's New York. That's the fact that he loves this team and he sees where it can go. But I see it being hard, man, especially if he keeps playing at the level he's playing. Eddie, talk me off a ledge. How do we actually keep IQ, bro?
We're going to keep him, and we're going to utilize him and pay him the way Malcolm Brogdon was paid in the past. You know, Malcolm Brogdon got $25 million, 4 years ago. And, that's the going rate for the best six man in the league, and if we have to give him 27, 28 million, so be it. We'll have to just find other ways to, offset the salary, but we need IQ. He's part of this core five, man. He's one of our most important pieces on this team. He's a loyal guy. He's a smart player. He's a consistent player. I'm giving him whatever he wants. Maybe they couldn't get into, come to a common ground during negotiations last offseason. So be it. He goes out and he gets a big offer. I'm matching whatever it is because that's how important I think IQ is to this team. And the only one caveat I'll say is, all right, if he has a bad playoffs, maybe we'll rethink that. But, he's only had 2 playoff series with us. So give him a chance. Let it happen. But IQ, to me, he's a core piece of this team. We can't lose him.
Guys, I'm gonna bring him up. I know our boy, Die Hard Eru, got something to say on this one.
What's good, guys? What's good, guys? What's good? I just came off the honey-do list, man. My wife had me going to BJ's and all kind of other stuff today on my day off, man. So I finally got some time to talk some Knicks, man. So what's up? What's good, guys?
Well, man, we're talking IQ right now. Like everybody worried about what's gonna happen with IQ. Give us your thoughts, Eru. Where you at with everything going on with IQ, man?
Well, I mean, the Knicks wanted to get that guy Dante DiVincenzo, so we basically replaced Obi with him. That two second round draft pick thing was annoying. We could have did that a lot better because there's players on Indiana that we could have traded Obi for if you wanted to upgrade the team and that type of thing. But if you want to try to upgrade the team, the only asset that we had was IQ, and if we sign IQ, then he wouldn't have been available to be traded until after the trade deadline. So that kind of like messed us up. So we still get to keep his rights if like you guys been saying, with the restricted free agency thing. So I'm not really worried about it. We'll pay him whatever. We were talking about paying guys. This guy Brunson, he's gonna get 40, 50, whatever the price is when his time is up, man. So we got to be very careful with that. So as I say that, we have a window right now where we can try to get something here like on a sneak, at least for this year. Because I mean, I feel like the whole NBA is like up for grabs right now. There's not really like a full team that everybody's scared of, man. So the Knicks have an opportunity to make something beautiful happen, man. So if we play IQ, that would kind of would have messed up the little bit of wiggle room that we had to get better. So that's my take on IQ. I think IQ has been great. We need him, man. We need all these guys to tell you the truth. So if anything, we need that, like you guys been saying too. We need that extra guy to come in here, like it doesn't have to be an all-star or superstar. It just needs to be somebody that's a starter that can contribute to this group that gives us something that we don't have. So that's what I'm thinking.
I agree.
Yeah. So I want to say one thing to Eddie. You were talking about Malcolm Brogdon and getting the bag and stuff like that. I think one thing that we have to realize is there is a difference between those two. And the fact is that Malcolm Brogdon got that bag going into being a sixth man after he had already spent years fulfilling his desire to be a starter. Like, he was a starter in Indiana, and then he became a sixth man. Emmanuel Quickley's never been a starter, and he's voiced that is actually a desire of his, that he does not want to build his future coming off the bench. And for someone young like him, that's a rookie that never got that start, and you look at it, there were some poor decisions that we've talked about, like Alec Burks being, a starter over Emmanuel Quickley getting an opportunity to start. So he looks at those things, and he personally wants to be a starter. So for him, it's not just wanting to stay in New York. It's not solely about the money, but also about the future. Malcolm Brogdon had those years. Then as his career started to, okay, I don't really have what this team's looking for anymore in a starting position, but I'm getting the bag to come off the bench with another team. Like, that is still appealing, to get the bag to come off a bench of a team that's already good, as opposed to have never had those opportunities and that fulfillment of that desire that you want. That's something Emmanuel Quickley wants, And so I think it's a bigger decision for us and for him. Like, this is his future. This is his first rookie extension. It's not, down the line in his career. This paves the future for his career. Does he want to settle for his first extension being off the bench? I don't know. Like, didn't sound like it when he had those interviews, So I think there's a lot more to it than can we just match money kind of situation.
Good point.
That's 100. That's 100.
Yeah, good points. Before we switch it up, Billy made it back to the panel. What it do, Billy?
My God, Billy!
Before we switch up the topic,
I got
because
one
before
question
this goes over, we got to talk Grimes. What was that, Double A?
I got one quick question, if I may, to back up what Phil is talking about. Is what a question we need to ask ourselves: can we afford to invest that money in a sixth man in Quickley with all the money we have invested in our backcourt? I mean, we need help in the front court, desperately. So if we put all our apples, in the backcourt, what we got left to address, our glaring needs, which is the front court right now. We're down a wing, we're down a backup power forward. Hart is looking bad, bro. And that's basically one problem. He's playing out of position.
Yeah, can't argue that.
Billy, my guy, you came back.
OG.
What's good, man? How y'all doing this morning?
Good, bro. I want to hear your thoughts. Nick's Twitter gets it, but YouTube needs to hear from Billy.
Man, first of all, I appreciate y'all, man. Look, man, last night when me and Eddie was on last night talking about it, man. Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
yeah.
Okay. We were talking about it last night, man. Last night was probably the most frustrating game of the season because the guys came out lackadaisical, man. They came out with no energy. And I think I said this last night, Eddie. It was a 6 o'clock game. These guys act like it was a matinee game. They just weren't up for it. There was like I was real. If you've been watching the Knicks, of course, like we all been watching the Knicks for the past few years, you hate the lackadaisical effort they give at times. And this is why other teams and other, networks and people, they don't take us serious as Knicks because we lose games like that last night. It's like as soon as these guys got the scouting report or the injury report, they were saying that Kevin Durant wasn't playing. They was like, oh, okay, whatever. Yeah, we got this. It's too easy. It's still the NBA, gentlemen. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're not the Knicks you're not a team that can just sit back and take people lightly. If anything, you are the team others take lightly.
Yep.
And so I wasn't feeling that, man. The Julius Randle I got in the third quarter, I needed that all 4 quarters, or at least 3 out of 4 quarters. You know what I'm saying? Phil, I think you said it earlier when I first logged in. This team for the last 3 to 4 years is going to go as far as Julius Randle takes us. We got help now. We have Jalen Brunson, but at the end of the day, it's still Julius Randle is still he's still the cash cow. You know what I'm saying? If what I saw from Julius Randle is the first time I saw him act like last year's Julius Randle, and what I mean by that is, the kind of game Julius Randle's going to give you within the first 5 minutes of the game. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Last year, he was one of the league leaders in the first quarter points and just his effort and intensity. But Julius Randle only had 2 assists last night. If I ain't mistaken, that's a season low. He's been real great at getting others involved this year. One thing I posed a question on Twitter and on Twitter Spaces, if Julius Randle doesn't do what he does best, which is score, how else is he going to affect the team? How else is he going to bring some positivity to the game and everybody else feed off around him? I didn't see that last night. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he had a monster third quarter, but we don't have a Devin Booker on our team that people can just hit the switch and okay, now it's time for me to go to work. You know what I'm saying? We don't have that. We have to have a collective effort from our Randles, from our Quickleys, from our bench. Nurkic dominated Mitchell Robinson last night. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to crash on Mitch because for the most part, man, he's had a very good year. But just something last night, or actually the last 2 games, honestly, I was like, come on, Mitch, get it together. RJ has not been the same since the quote-unquote migraines or whatever the case may be. I'm not a doctor. I don't want to put no, whatever injury out there, but I think it's bigger than that, the headaches or whatever the case may be. Quickley, look, man, I want Quickley to get his money. You know what I'm saying? It's from us or somebody else. I've been watching kids since Kentucky. Y'all know I watch a lot of college ball too, and being right here in Indiana, Phil, you know where I'm at, right here in that town.
Yes, sir.
You get bred with a whole bunch of that stuff. No, I'm from New York. I don't want to get it twisted. I'm not from the enemy of Indiana. I'm from New York. But I just retired out here, man. Brother got tired of moving. But yeah, man. So you get accustomed to watching all them guys college ball and everything. And Quickley, man, one thing I can say about the kid, man, he's been the same Emmanuel Quickley since the time I've noticed him his freshman year at Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't waver, great upbringing. You're not going to see him wear his emotions on his sleeve, nothing like that. You don't see the pressure of him playing with a contract and all that stuff. So I love that about Quick, man. And, I just wanted the Knicks, man, to start taking games more serious. Last night, it's like they didn't take it serious, man. It wasn't that wasn't a team that I said that can win 50 games this year. That wasn't a team that I said that can be a top 3 seed in the East this year. That was a team that Tom Thibodeau inherited 4.5 years ago. That's what that team looked like yesterday. So it starts from the top, man. You got to get these guys ready. And then Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, you guys are our leaders, man. You got to get everybody else ready because they're going to go as far as they take them. But I hope I stayed on topic, man. I was trying to get my stuff together. I apologize.
That was great. That was great.
Phil, I wanna switch it up while we got this panel right here because I want everybody's takes, and I want to throw it to Eru G Money. I see State just jumped in the building. What it do, State? He muted up right now. It's all right, State. We know you'll catch up, and Billy's here. But guys, obviously, and Nick's a nice. I see you in the chat, bro. He said yesterday wasn't that serious at all. Y'all need to be addressing the lack of offensive sets. It's street ball. Obviously, we could talk a lot about the adjustments that are not had, the offensive plays that aren't there. I want to talk Quentin Grimes. I feel like we'd be doing a disservice if we didn't because you guys all see the reports out there. All right. Eru, I want to start with you first, bro, because what was it? The report showed Quentin Grimes last 3 games, 0 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 3 points, 0 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Should we be concerned right now, Eru, when it comes to Quentin Grimes, bro?
I mean, not concerned, but if you look at the bigger picture, like not everybody's going to make it to the last stop on the train. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to get to the championship, we're making moves and stuff like that. If you're going to get that player, that extra player that we need to help us get there, like we're talking about getting an extra offensive player out there, not everybody's going to make it to the end. Somebody's going to have to get off and then make a transfer, and somebody else is going to jump on the train. You know what I'm trying to say? So right now, Quentin Grimes, the way that he's been playing, he's not playing like he played last year. there hasn't really been like a forward progression in his game. Like last year, him driving to the basket with that first step was a little bit more prominent. Him being able to make those passes too were a little bit more prominent. This year, it seems like he's spooked within the offense where he gets the ball and he's just looking left and right rather than looking at the rim and stuff like that. The difference between when Dante started, I guess the last 2 games with Dante is that Dante at least was in the what they call it, the 3-point stance, kind of, just like the triple threat stance. Triple threat stance. At least he can make the play, passing, driving, and shooting. But Grimes is just looking left to right. Who can I give it to? Where's RJ? Where's Julius? Where's Brunson? So I think that's the problem with Grimes. So I mean, just judging about what he's playing, man, I don't think he's giving us anything that we necessarily need, because now he's basically a 3-point shooter. And it's a little bit. I think it's like a detriment to what he could bring to the table. So I think, just judging by what's happening, I think he's kind of like the odd man out. If he was to make a trade, he would have to be in that trade because we already have guys to replace him, like Quickley. Quickley's off the bench already. We got Josh Hart and we got Dante. So we already have somebody with that skill set that's already, on the roster. So if we can get better via trade, I wouldn't mind trading any of these guys. But right now, Quentin Grimes is the one that I will put in that spot.
Yep. All right, let's go State. Apollo, before he get his root canal, we'll go to Billy. And then when G Money comes back, if you guys got a couple minutes, but go ahead, State. State, what it do?
Yo,
he got the laugh on. He's like, I can't.
He's a little hungover. Partying.
He's like, stop yelling in my ear. Stop yelling in my ear.
You got the orange do-rag. Orange do-rag looking smooth.
We'll do it differently. Hey, State, how do you feel about Grimes?
What's up to you fellas? Eru, what's up? My God. Die state of mind. My God, Apollo up here. What's up? The OG is up here, Billy. What's up with all of you guys, man? For me personally, there ain't no problem with Grimes. I told you, just like I said last time with Phil when I was up here, Grimes is going to continue to start until he's traded for a tall wing. You got to live and die with Quentin Grimes. I do not care if he had 0 points. I cared about when you made that man untouchable for Donovan Mitchell. Now, when you made him untouchable, right, that means that he has diplomatic immunity when it comes to roster construction. So you can't sit here and tell me, let's start Dante DiVincenzo, and then in the same sentence say, oh, but we're going to trade for a star. You're just devaluing your assets now. You did it to Obi, right? You're currently doing it for Quickley because we all know deep down Quickley's a starting point guard. We know this, right? But name me the trade where a team trades another team, an all-star currently, for just bench players. Impossible. That's impossible. So I'd rather just stick with Grimes.
Wait, you mean this isn't NBA 2K State? We can't just say, here, take Fournier and this pick and give. Oh, okay. I didn't know. Thanks.
I don't know if Nick's Twitter knows that. I don't know if Nick's Twitter knows that.
Yes, that's Nick's Twitter talk. This is real basketball talk. And then when you have real basketball conversations, people, you have a logical answer. I'm keeping Grimes started. He's my starter for the remainder of the season until the Knicks can find themselves a tall wing. I'm cool. I'm comfortable keeping Quickley too. Y'all should have thought about Quickley's money this summer when you paid Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo before Quickley. So Knicks laid their bed. They made their bed. Got landed. I'm not interested in not starting Grimes. I'm so sorry.
Yo, State showed up with do-rag, hung over his shit, and still dropping his facts. Go ahead, State. Apollo, before you can't talk with that root canal, my guy. Go ahead, man. Let it go. Tell us what you think, man. Let's go, Grimes.
First of all, peace to everybody. Peace to everybody in the chat, the panel. Salute to my guys. Y'all, Eru and State, y'all already know y'all my brothers from day one. Peace to everybody. G Money, Billy, Double A. When it comes to Grimes, it's a lot of things. It's a mixed bag with Grimes. It's not just one thing. It's not like Grimes is ass, because he's not ass. He's clearly got talent. He's good. But I think I've always said it's the same problem that Obi had. When he's on the floor with these guys, he thinks too much. And it's because he doesn't feel comfortable with them on the floor with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just me. I've never seen Quickley have the kind of hesitation that Grimes has on a nightly basis. Like, there's a lot of times that Grimes has opportunities to score and he doesn't. Now, I'm not sure if that's because he doesn't want to or if he's in fear of messing up the rotation of what they got. But like I said, it's a mixed bag. It's a mixture of that. It's also a mixture of, hey, run a play for him every now and then, or once a quarter. You know what I'm saying? But I think everyone's issue with the Grimes thing now, because let's be honest, we've been talking about bench Grimes since last year. Everybody talks about it. There's always something. But the problem now is the fact that Dante DiVincenzo comes in, and when he's in, there's no hesitation. He's making all the right plays on both sides of the ball.
Both sides.
So now everybody's looking at Grimes like, bro, what are you doing? Why are you the starter? You know what I mean? So I think that's what it is. This frustration from both sides, and we don't know who to cast the blame to. But I'm not going to just get rid of Grimes unless there's a situation that arises. The trade comes up for Grimes, and whoever else they want to throw in that trade, we could talk about that then. But I don't think we need to get rid of him right now. But in terms of him being in the starting lineup, I don't know. Like, because to be honest with you, I don't understand why from one game to another, like when RJ was out, there was one game where how many shots did Grimes get? It was like 8 to 11 shots or something like that. And then when he's here, and then Julius is here, Grimes gets like 3 or 4 shots. You know what I mean? Even matter of fact, I think the Heat game, I think before going into the half, he hit a 3 going into the half. What, didn't he? Like right before he hit a shot. And then when he hit that shot, it was like he was frustrated that was the only shot that he gets. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I get the one at the end of the quarter when you have no other shot to take for yourself. Now you want to pass it to me. So I don't know if it's frustration with Grimes on that key, or is it a structural, you know what I mean, kind of thing with the coach. That's just me. I don't know, man. I have no answer because it's puzzling as hell every single night because it doesn't make sense. He's too good to be up and down and inconsistent. You know what I mean? But then you put Dante DiVincenzo out there, and then he's doing everything that we expect Grimes to do. So I don't know. That's just my piece on that.
I'll say something about Grimes. My bad.
Real quick.
Grimes last night.
What is Dante DiVincenzo? Hold on, real quick. Okay. I just want to ask Apollo a question. What is Dante DiVincenzo's age again, bro?
Hey, there you go. It's experience.
So off ball is a skill. Everything in the NBA is a skill. We just gonna have to live and die with Grimes learning how to play off ball.
There you go.
23.
For 2 more years, though, we're gonna do that for 2-3 years, waiting for one guy to get big, to get that skill, and then we still got to pay other guys. Quickly gonna get paid. Brunson's gonna get paid again. This guy's gonna get paid, and we still waiting for Grimes to. I mean, Grimes just finally got that scrub thing going. He had the crazy acne.
Puberty
He finally got
kicked in,
the good
bro.
skincare thing now. So we're waiting for this guy to grow into becoming a man now. So how long are we gonna wait? At this point, we waited for Mitch, we waited for RJ, which is cool. But we at this point now where we're not waiting for guys no more. We kind of need to make the next step now.
I honestly don't think we should wait. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think it's a wait thing with Grimes. I think it's you got him while you're here right now. You gotta at this point, it's not a wait and see with Grimes kind of thing because the situation is a lot different than when we had Obi. Is a lot different from when we had Quickley when he first started when he was younger. It's a different situation because now you're asking, we have higher expectations as a team. So that time frame of the patience for Grimes to improve is a lot smaller than it used to be. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have the patience for, not we, I'm not saying we, but a lot of Knicks fans don't have that patience for Grimes to improve at this point because now the time that he would have had to improve himself is now grown into time that we're actually contending way better than we thought we were. So now it's more pressure on Grimes to improve in that situation. And we've seen a lot of guys who had time to improve, and the front office gave them that time to improve. And because things changed throughout their tenure with that team, like, all right, well, we might not have time for you to improve anymore. We kind of saw that with RJ. RJ was given the opportunity to do what he had to do. And then all of a sudden, Jalen comes in, and we had to tone that down a little bit, because it's like we can't give RJ the keys right now to be whoever the hell he wants to be when you got Jalen coming in here playing basketball the way it should be played. You know what I'm saying? So it happens all the time. My thing with Grimes is you have to show improvement, because at this point, if we're going to keep starting you, and say we stay patient with Grimes, if he wants to be, or if we want to trade him to someone else and he doesn't have the value because we continue to play him and he's not playing up to his value, then that's another situation that we got to run into. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. We could go up and we can have this conversation 20,000
This is one of those ones I can go on forever. Eddie, I'm gonna go to you in a second, but I saw Billy. He gave the finger raise. He was ready to say so. Go ahead, Billy. I saw the finger raise.
Nah, with the great combo, man. And with the hold on, let me get professional like my man Eru, man, real quick. Let me just get professional. Put a microphone in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Put a microphone in front of me. No, I'm bullshit. No, like, okay, with the Grimes thing, like, look, you can go about it a whole bunch of ways. You can start him and not give him starter minutes, you know what I'm saying? Because he's not aggressive. We see that he's not aggressive. Or he's only aggressive when certain people are on the floor. I think he'll be more aggressive if he's on the floor with the second unit. Yep. So we've seen this. We've had large sample sizes of that. Or, you know, and I know man Apollo was saying something to the fact that comparing the RJ situation to the Grimes situation, the RJ situation is different because the Knicks never brought nobody in here to replace RJ. They brought somebody in here that can potentially replace Grimes. You know what I'm saying? The Knicks have shown more investment in their number 3 overall pick in RJ Barrett than a Quentin Grimes, period. You know, now I understand what State is saying. He's saying I understand what State's saying when he's like, Grimes is only 23, you know what I'm saying? And State loves the kids, you know what I'm saying? State love the kids. But with all that being said, the Knicks aren't going to be invested in Quentin Grimes like that because he's not taking advantage of his opportunities. Just like Apollo said, when Grimes hit that shot against Miami. And I'm going to rewind it even a couple of games further than that. The game in Boston, that third quarter, Grimes had a great third quarter. All right, I think he had like 3 threes that quarter. Tibbs kind of screwed him because he didn't play him hardly. He didn't see no more daylight in the fourth. That's going to kill a young man's confidence. So when he goes back out there, he's stuck between, do I need to shoot or do I need to get others involved? You know, we all know Grimes is starting because he's the best on-ball defender we had on the team.
Yeah.
But now we need you to be a two-way guy now. Because again, they brought somebody in here in Dante DiVincenzo that's going to challenge you for that spot. And me personally, I think he's going to end up taking that starting position probably within the next month or so. You know, because we haven't had a great game since Grimes missed that game. It was great ball movement. I think when the game was in Charlotte, great ball movement. Dante hit 7 threes. Yeah, it was against Charlotte, but he did it. You know what I'm saying? He still did it. And we haven't seen that aggressiveness since. And he even said in the post game, if you heard, I'm sorry, I'm something messed up, man. I'm getting over a cold. And he even said it in post game, Dante DiVincenzo did. He feels a different energy when he starts, and he's used to playing with these guys, his Nova boys, as it is coming off the bench. So I think he was kind of planting the seed at the same time, but he knows what he was brought in here to do. Knicks fans know what he was brought in here to do. I like Grimes. Grimes has a bag. If you guys watch Grimes at the University of Houston, he's got a package.
Yeah.
It's just like it's hard to display it when you're under a coach like Tom Thibodeau, because people were saying the same thing about Obi. You know what I'm saying? When Obi was in Dayton, Player of the Year, cat and all that. And I get it. It's just hard when you're playing behind a guy who's top 5 in NBA minutes and all NBA guy like Julius Randle. But what did that do to Randle? That forced Randle to be an all NBA guy. You know what I'm saying? It forced him to get in the lab. It forced him to be better. He didn't wait on the coaches and all that stuff to do it. Guess what? They was trying to do it again. They brought DDV in here. Grimes. How is that going to impact your motivation? It's going to force you to take advantage of the moment. You're still starting, bro. Take advantage of the moment. Be aggressive. Shoot the ball. I don't want to see Grimes shoot all these threes, to be honest with you. Because, he's got a hell of a first step. Go to the ball. Go to the hole. I was telling State all summer, man. That's the same thing I want to see with RJ. RJ, play from the inside out. We know you don't have a consistent mid-range jumper, but you build your confidence when you see the ball going in the bucket.
Yeah.
Take it to the hole. get to the free throw line, and then play from the inside out. Then you got a little rhythm. You just made you saw the ball go in the rim about 3-4 times in a row. Then start shooting your threes. That's how you build rhythm. Grimes need to do the same thing, man. But Grimes is in a peculiar position right now.
Phil, hold on. I'm gonna throw it to Eddie and then throw it to Phil. Also, I wanted to point out Justin Knicks throwing in there. Grimes plays like he running from the cops. I saw that one. That one just had me dying. You know, this guy Billy out here spitting bars. What up, Ron in the chat? Still Knicks fans. If you don't subscribe to the Still Knicks fans, what are y'all doing with your life? Go. I'm telling you, in this panel too, go follow Eru. I'm telling you guys, everything's on there. But Phil, I'm gonna throw it to Eddie and then we'll throw it to Phil. But what to your point too, Billy, is his confidence isn't there. And with the lack of shooting that he's actually, what do you have last night? 6 total shots? So you're also not going to even give yourself the chance to build that confidence when you're not even shooting the shots, which then it goes back to State's point. Plays aren't being called for him. He's not being in the spot to shoot. So it's like you can nitpick every side of it. And Phil and Eddie, am I crazy? Because I don't feel like a majority of the fan base is like, screw you, Grimes, get him out of here. Everybody's more on the, man, we got to see him develop. Maybe that second unit will give him that chance to play a little more free. We'll give him that. And I'm sorry, a little bit last night, and I'll get some shade for this. That immaculate, he's the best defender we have. He was lacking a bit last night. And it was there, and it was very clear. So I think a big part of that fan base that's like, well, he's the best defender, took a little hit last night. Like, oh, okay, wait. If that dips, and then he's also not shooting, maybe that second unit conversation is worth having, but I digress. Go ahead, Eddie.
I'll say this about Grimes. Last night in the first half against Booker, he shut him down. He shut down Booker. He was really good on the defensive end in the first half. You can watch it. Booker was 2 of 8. He only scored 8 points. Grimes was all up on his shit, man. But Grimes' biggest problem is that he's not assertive. He's not an assertive player. We need him to be a guy that's confident when he shoots the three, confident to take the ball to the hole. So that's the problem. And right now with this team, we can't afford to have a guy that's not assertive. We need a fucking another guy. We need another player. So my answer to Grimes is, you're the first guy out the door in a trade, bro. You're the first. You and Evan are going to be the first to go, because I'm replacing you in the starting lineup. I'm sorry, but that's my take on Grimes. He's a great defender. He's a good player. He's got a lot of upside, but he's not assertive enough to be in the starting lineup. And if this team wants to take the next step forward, it's going to be Grimes and Evan and a pick that's going to be for a player that's going to upgrade us. Whether it's DeRozan, whether it's Kuzma, whether it's Bogdanovich, the Grimes is going to be the guy that has to go. I love him. He plays good defense, but I don't think he has a future here. I don't.
Let's go, Phil. And then, Phil, throw it over to AA, G-Money, Eru. I also saw King Ribby said, I hate when people say plays aren't called for them. Laugh out loud. Plays is called for all players. They just need to master it. Boy, talk about knocking sugarcoating shit. Ribby just said, don't give me that shit. Go ahead, Phil.
All right. So here's a few things. So we were out to eat the other day, me and my wife. All right. And first thing I always choose is my entree, whatever sounds the best to me. Okay. And I'm looking at the menu, and this place had freaking sides galore, and all the sides sounded fire. However, every time I thought about that side, and I thought if it meshed well with my actual entree, it changed whether or not I ordered that side. Because if that side didn't vibe with my entree, it doesn't matter how fire that side is, it's going to ruin my entree. It's not going to taste the same. So I had to pick my sides based off of the entree I already chose. And that's the problem with Quentin Grimes in that starting lineup, okay? Quentin Grimes is not necessarily the issue in himself, because like Billy said, he does have a bag, but it does not work with how that freaking starting lineup works. And that's my problem, is not wanting Grimes to go to the bench because I think he's a bench player, but I think he will thrive off of the bench. And that's why I want to see Quentin Grimes there, because if you looked at him before he got there, he was a guy that had a lot of time with a ball in his hand to either dish or find the best shot. That's time that he doesn't have anymore. That time is always in the hands of Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, and Jalen Brunson. That limits the kind of player that he can be. And that changes, what you get from him. So the problem is that the Knicks want him to be what the Knicks want him to be, which is a stand in the corner. And when our guys don't have the opportunity to drive, you catch the ball and you're the catch and shoot shooter. But he's not that. He is not that guy. And that's why he needs to not be in the starting lineup, because the way this team is organized is that in order for our guys to be successful, we need to have somebody that can always hit a three when they get it with 4 or 5 seconds left on the clock. Grimes is not that guy yet. We're trying to groom him into that, but just like we tried to groom Obi into the corner guy, that's not who those players are. So in order for that starting lineup to work, that's why it worked so much with Dante DiVincenzo. Dante is used to getting the ball and just chucking it up and shooting it. And that's why it worked in those 2 games that he was in, because that's what his role was in Milwaukee. That's what his role was in Golden State. And that's why it thrived. Also, we've talked about it before. Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson, Jalen especially because that's his guy, they trust him more in that relationship than they do Grimes. If you look at Grimes typically gets the ball in last-second opportunities from those 2 guys. Dante DiVincenzo was always the first or second person that those 2 guys looked to give the ball to if it wasn't each other. So it also changes how that works. And so with Quentin Grimes, for Quentin Grimes to actually work in that starting unit, it would have to be a starting unit that was fully play-based. Like, this play is run for Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes knows when he's getting the ball. He knows what to expect. That's not how Tibbs runs his offense. He says it all the time. I let the game show it. I let the game tell the players when they need to shoot. So you're putting all these things on Grimes that isn't really Grimes' fault. So one thing I will say is that, untouchable also means unbenchable, unfortunately, to our front office, because they took that responsibility in saying that Grimes is not tradable. And I think that's why we have not seen him move to the bench yet, because that pride of having to say, we didn't trade this guy for Donovan Mitchell, and now we're benching him, is a really, really bad look on the front office and the coach. So they're not going to wear that. And so the last point that I have on Grimes is I don't agree with him staying in the starting unit, Eddie, especially if he is going to be part of a trade, because right now he hasn't shown anything that makes him worth trading for on another team. Like,
He is a good
defender. He is a good defender, but a lot of people are going to look and say, oh, if we could trade for Emmanuel Quickley off the bench, who defends well but also scores well, we would rather get their bench player. And they're not going to put Emmanuel Quickley, a bench player, as more value if the team itself is seeing them as a bench player. So with Grimes, if he's going to be someone that we use to trade, we need to get his value up. And I think the way to do that, and I don't even want to trade him, but I'm saying if that's the front office's thoughts, put him on that second unit so he can thrive, because his defense is going to thrive there. And his offense, I think, would thrive a lot more there. And then you get people actually watching him and being like, yo, this guy's actually worth trading for. I don't think that they're looking at Grimes right now and saying that's a missing piece that we should give up something for, with him and Fournier, who hasn't played a minute.
But Phil, other teams might say, because he's starting and he has all these other offensive options around him, he's not getting a real shot to be the player who he is. So in a way, a team looking to trade for him might look at that as a good thing.
But that's a mystery box. Like, how many times does someone just trade for a possibility? You don't give something that is a for sure for a possibility, like most times, especially in a starting unit. On a bench, yeah, you can go for this player could develop. If not, they're only getting 10 minutes anyway that we're offering them. But we're telling them this is a 26 to 28 minute a game kind of player. You think that they're going to go, yeah, it's worth Russian roulette. Like, maybe he turns into something, maybe he doesn't. Like with the Obi thing, Indiana could have done whatever they wanted because we devalued Obi. So they were like, yeah, 2 picks, bring this guy in the starting lineup. If it works, we rock with him. If it doesn't, we bench him. Well, now Obi Toppin is on the freaking floor of their airport next to Tyrese Halliburton on a big mural. So, like, for them, it was worth the risk reward. I don't think they're gonna risk something into a starting lineup that they don't know if he can actually produce. Like,
Let's
we
throw it
waited
over
how many
to.
seasons?
Let's get G Money's take on it, Double A and Eru. And I don't know about y'all. I mean, I listen to every word you just said, Phil, spitting mad facts. But am I the only one that was concerned to find out what the hell you did choose as the side to your entree?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Nah, it was mad good, bro. So I got a bourbon chicken, which was delicious. It's like bourbon syrup on the chicken, like with real bourbon. And then the mashed potatoes had this like really like dope cheese inside of it. And then mac and cheese to go with it. So it was like just a hearty dish. It was
all right, sorry, it was in the back of my
was
mind.
great.
It bothered me. I was like, what the hell did you get? G Money, talk to us, man.
Salute, right. Salute, Billy. Please subscribe to Billy Faye podcast, please. Always bring the meat and potatoes of each story. Salute, diehard Eru. Nice to see you again, man. Please subscribe to him, to his channel. Stay in the Knicks. Salute, stay in the Knicks. Salute, Apollo, Double A, everyone in the chat. If you want my numbers in the private chat. And speaking of numbers, Quentin Grimes, Optimus Grimes is what I call him. He needs to be more aggressive, man. He has all the tools in the tool shed. He's a good on-ball defender. He is an underrated passer, especially in transition. And he is a guy that can hit the three at the wing, and he can fly like an American Eagle and throw it down. My thing with Grimes is this. Don't be scared to fail. If you fail, you fail. You still want to keep giving effort. You still got to go out to let it fly. Get to the basket, because he could get to put the ball on the floor. He could use his skill set to get to the hoop, though. So if Grimes could just work on those little intangibles like we saw earlier against Boston in that one game, or even at times last year, the sky's the limit. My thing with Grimes is shoot the ball with confidence. Even if you miss. Take the shot, do more bounce passing, and get to the rack, especially off the baseline. He could do those things, though. Get to the line, too. Get yourself to the free throw line. Only one free throw attempt, you got to – man. Get yourself to the free throw line, too. So that's my thing with Grimes, though.
My turn.
Go ahead. The ball's to you, man. You have the open shot. Yeah.
Open shot. Hey, Billy. Way to represent, man. I ain't the only gray beard on here.
I cut mine's off, man.
Hey, you cut yours off.
I think my cutting it down, man, this week, man. So.
I hear you. Well, listen. Grimes, I agree with all you. Grimes is a quality player, but like Phil says, he's just not aggressive enough, you know. And we got to decide what are we doing here? Are we looking to contend? Are we looking to make some noise? Because if we are, we can't afford to sit back and wait for him to grow up. You know, one thing, those games that Dante started in front of him, that dispels any kind of argument about him not being able to get shots. The reason why Dante was able to score 27 is because he took the shots. He didn't hesitate one bit. I mean, you look at some of the threes he hit. He was hitting them in people's faces, man. You know, there's no fear. He does other things. He crashes the boards. He brings defense. You know, however, I think our starter shooting guard should be Emmanuel Quickley. I think he earned it. I think the fact that he's a great scorer off the bench right now and filling that need for us is holding him back, and may be a determining factor of him saying, you know what, I want the opportunity and I'm not going to get it here. You guys got Jalen Brunson. You brought in DiVincenzo. You know, yeah, I'm getting the minutes and stuff, but I want to start. I want a chance to, to grow and stuff. But Grimes is just not aggressive enough. And then just like Obi Toppin, this is half court is not his game. If you look at the games that Grimes has showed out, we were playing hectic defense. We're getting steals. We're getting out into the open court, and he was balling, And it was the same thing with Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin was not a half court stand in the corner player. And unfortunately, we devalued him to a point that we got two second rounders for number 8 pick in the draft, which we can't do, And we got to decide, man. We got to log jam at backcourt. Okay, shooting guard is one of the most important offensive positions in the game. we're lucky that we have Jalen Brunson as a point guard because he eliminates a little bit off of that. But we still need somebody that can get their own shot at shooting guard and is not afraid of the moment.
Yep.
And that's all I got to say. Thank you, guys.
All right, Eru.
Hey, what's good, guys? You know, great takes by everybody. You know, I don't want to keep repeating some of the stuff you guys are saying, but I'll throw this out there. You know, Grimes, you know, is who he is. I agree with what everyone's saying. But let's say if we was to get the guy everybody wanted, Donovan Mitchell. You know, Donovan Mitchell is not going to be the spot up shooter. You know, if we're playing in this offense, he's going to be that guy that's going to attack. So the way that we play would have changed. You know. So my thing is with a guy like Grimes, instead of just settling for getting that ball and just shooting it where he's standing, he got pump fakes. He got the ability to take more than 2 dribbles sometimes to make something happen. That's what Dante was doing in that position. So same thing with Scott Perry. He mentioned that, you know, if he was to get legit small forward, he would slide RJ to the 2. So if you do that, that changes the offense too again. You know, ever so slightly. You know what I'm saying? So it just little layers there to think about as we build this team. Because I don't want to get it to where we're like just badgering Grimes. Because you know, State said said something about just waiting for him and this, that, and the other. But it's not, you know, he needs to start. We can't just bench him, you know, just for logistics, you know, looking at us as a team. And also too, continuity wise, we don't want to fluster what we're doing, because I think it does work. Because coming off the bench, I kind of like how, you know, the RJ IQ, that group that comes off the bench with Josh Hart and Dante, it looks good with Hartenstein, you know. So I kind of like that. And then like to finish the games off, I kind of like the way that the Brunson and IQ thing looks. And you know, then we can go to Julius at times during the game. So I just think there's something missing, you know. And I think we're all right on the cusp of trying to figure out what that is, man. So I think, you know, just being excited as a fan, you know, to see us at this crossroads where we can do something literally to really take this team to the next level. And it's not something so dramatic where we have to trade like for the superstar player or have to dump 4 or 5 guys to get this guy. I just think, you know, we're like so subtle right there where if we make the proper move, man, it really could make us make that jump. Because I think as we're presently constantly, even without a backup power forward and without that wing, you know, we still are a second round team, I think. You know, so but if we make that one cleanup move where we make that subtle trade and then possibly sign a guy, so I'll throw a guy's name like Darius Bazley. You know, he's just sitting on his couch right now. That guy has a lot of skill, so I mean, he can come in and be that backup wing, you know, to fill in the spot. So little small moves like that, I think that would help things out a lot. You know, because because like I said, I just don't want to get into the badgering Grimes. But
Yeah.
IQ, you know, same thing with Donovan Mitchell. IQ could come in and do what Donovan Mitchell does. Who's to say he can't? Because everybody wanted him there. So why not just start IQ to do what Donovan Mitchell would have done in that spot? You know, and then
to your point, you know, I don't think anyone's necessarily bashing Grimes, but figuring out where his skill sets actually fit the team best. Because me personally, like, I'm excited, like, to actually be at a point in our fan base where we're saying, crap, you know, like, even pieces that we like, how do we move them around? Or if we have to trade somebody, who's the lesser that's going to be painful to us to get that one little piece, instead of like the crap, we are complete trash, we need to figure this out again. You know, like, it's an exciting spot to be in. For me personally, that was kind of my thought with the Emmanuel Quickley thing, is like, if we can keep 2 of our young guys by keeping Emmanuel Quickley, giving that, you know, starting position that he's craving for, give him his money, and then continue to see Grimes develop off the bench, you know, because I'm not necessarily like, I was all last year about like Grimes being a starter because I like seeing our young guys stick with us and develop. But I also truly believe that, you know, if we're an organization that says, hey, earn your spot, like, if I look at it, I'm like, okay, out of the people in that position, who has actually earned time and time again that spot for that number 2? If I'm looking at just performance, effort, everything in total, I would have to say out of Grimes and Quickley that it's Quickley. Like, almost 6th man of the year, you know, continue to play time and time again this season, getting better every season. So it's not a hate towards Grimes. It's if someone is on our bench can help us get closer to contention, I don't want him playing 15 minutes anymore. I want him playing, like, at least see what it looks like next to Brunson, because when he started last year, it was mostly in Brunson's absence. So we haven't even tried to see if that would actually take us to the next level. Because like you said, scoring-wise, very similar to Donovan Mitchell, being able to score in multiple facets, but he's a way better defender than Donovan Mitchell. So if Emmanuel Quickley can show that he fills that void, and we don't have to go robbing ourselves to trade for Donovan Mitchell, why would we not do that in-house? That doesn't make sense to me.
And the last two games too, Minnesota and that Minnesota game, just to say that, between him and Brunson, they were kicking ass, man, to tell you the truth, down the stretch. So if we can really use that.
And we're getting IQ closing games, and we're not seeing Grimes. Like, to me, that's a point that people should pay attention to. If we trust this man to come in and be that closer, why are we not comfortable also with him being that guy that starts us off? Because that is working.
Him and Brunson in the fourth at that Heat game was beautiful. Like, absolutely beautiful. Watching him and, Jalen Brunson in that Heat game. What's up, Billy?
I got a question. So, okay, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate a little bit. If we start IQ, we throw him in that starting lineup, all right? Now I'm thinking business-wise. Does that force the front office's hands paying him as a starter? You know what I'm saying? Maybe is this a business move on why he isn't starting? Because really, technically, IQ's not even the first person off the bench. It's Josh Hart. You know what I'm saying? But IQ gets the starter minutes. You know what I'm saying? But if we get him a starter, right, and like Iru was saying, maybe he does compensate for the things that Donovan Mitchell doesn't do. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not a lock that Donovan Mitchell is going to be a Knick. He might not give us the opportunity to tell him no 2 times. You know what I'm saying? But with all that being said, does that force the front office's hand? Hey, Quickley is thriving as a starter. You know what I'm saying? We have to give him starter money, because if we give him starter money, we're not bringing somebody else in to put him back on the bench. So, I mean, I just want you guys' thoughts on that.
Yeah, that's important, man. That money thing situation is definitely a big problem. So, I mean, teams do that. They'll try to like purposely kind of hide guys just so they don't have to pay them. But I mean, Quickly, since he came here, man, remember when he first got here, we had DSJ, and he kicked DSJ up out of here. Yeah. And then we went and got Derrick Rose, and he still stayed in the rotation, man. So IQ is a warrior, man. Nick through and through. So I mean, he's definitely, I just really don't know what to say, because I mean, we're already gonna pay him like $120 probably, if that's the case. But I mean, I think that's a sweet spot right now for the guys that we have on our team. So if we have to pay him that money, I think it's fine. But the point is, yeah, like is he gonna be a starter now? Because we can have all these guys making heavy cake down on this bench, and who's starting? Like Phil said, I love that take with the food and stuff, man, because the Knicks already spending all this money on dessert, but we didn't even eat dinner yet, man. We about to get a diabetic fit with all this stuff on the bench, but where's the meat and potatoes of the meal here? So
yeah, I want Quickley to start. I agree with everything y'all brothers are saying, but MSG politics is undefeated. I remember being on pods with my guy Iru, right? And I used to cry to Iru every pod and cry to him about Alfred Payton starting. I used to cry to Iru every pod and ask him, why am I watching Alec Burks starting? Why am I watching Evan Fournier starting? If Tom Thibodeau did not want to start Quickley over those bums, he damn sure ain't starting Quickley over Quentin Grimes this year. Because now MSG politics is undefeated. You didn't want Quickley to start because you wanted your man Jalen Brunson, and you knew if Quickley would have started his first 2 seasons, fans would have said, hell no, why are you bringing in Brunson when we got our starting point guard? So you already covered that narrative. Now you got your man Brunson, and then forgot, oh shit, we got to pay Brunson's mans, but then forgot about Quickley. Oh shit, we got to pay Quickley too. Then another thing is that's mind-boggling to me, and we talk about Quickley starting, him getting his money. In 2025, the Knicks got to pay Randle and Brunson the same offseason. How is this going to work? How? And then you got to pay my man Quickley? So now I'm looking at Josh Hart. I'm looking at Dante. To hell what Brunson likes. This is not I don't care about the family thing, the Dante, the Villanova. I don't care. how are you gonna get that next player to come in here to take us over the top? And I don't think that's possible by starting quickly due to Tom Thibodeau. Everything falls back on Tibbs, man. Everything. So I don't think Quickley will never start for the New York Knicks unless Jalen Brunson's gone.
I'm going to say this right now. This is where we're going to stop. Right here. That's it. And the reason I'm saying that is you literally have just made it to where we know what Open Panel Friday is going to look like. Between what you and Eru were just saying, number one is going to be, what is that one thing? Because everybody's so busy on what's that one player. Why does it have to be that one player? What is it, that one move? What is that one decision? What is that one adjustment? Let's all gather up on Friday. Let's do a full-blown open panel again and do that. Before we wrap up, let's go around the horn. Let them know where they can follow you. If you got your content, all that. Let's throw it over to Eru. Go ahead. Drop it, bro.
Yeah, man, Knicks podcast. I don't have a schedule because my life is just crazy, man. I got kids. I work 12 hours a day. A bunch of, that's all excuses. There ain't no excuses in basketball, right? But Knicks podcast, I get on, basically do watch-alongs for every single game, and then I come on every once in a while and I do pods and stuff too. I'm waiting for State to start his channel, man, because he said Die Hard State of Mind is back. I don't know when we're gonna do that, but putting some pressure on him.
Waiting, man. I saw you all tipsy on NBK that night, plugging it. I was like, "Oh shit, we about to get a State thing," and we nothing yet. So State, hopefully soon, guys in the chat. We'll go ahead and drop Eru's channel on there for y'all. Make sure to go like and subscribe. G Money, tell us all about your bed. Oh, that's a really nice bed, bro. Oh, and then curtains too. That's dope. Billy, go ahead, bro. Tell us where they can follow you.
What's good, man? After show 2 came on Twitter, man. Gonna get started back on these spaces, man. Smoke session with Billy, sponsored by Therapy and Sports on the Twitter spaces. I'm gonna get my podcast started back up here soon too, also, man. Billy Faye podcast. Will be coming to y'all probably about another, maybe after the holidays. I'll probably do it after the holidays. I really don't want to start that in December. I'm like Eru, I really don't have a schedule. Y'all know me on these spaces and stuff. It's mostly pop-up spaces, and you know how I do. I can go on for hours and hours and hours, man. So that's where you can find me at right now, man.
Oh, you mean like us, Billy? We're like, you know what? Today we're gonna do it easy. We're gonna do 1 hour show. We're gonna take it easy this Monday. 2 hours in, we're still going.
That's the thing, man. Like I'll be mad at myself. I'll be like, I shouldn't even done it, man. Like my minimum is probably like 2.5 hours. So.
Once you get Knicks fans together, you can't get them to stop talking, man.
I'm telling you, man.
Nah, you can't.
Go ahead, Double A. Let people know where they can follow you on social and everything, bro.
Well, I'm just a fan, bro.
With hot takes, what you mean, just a fan? Come on now.
I jump on the panel, especially a still Knicks fan. That's my man, Don Ron. You know what I mean? Beautiful man. That's my brother. It's just a relief to be able to not have to kick the cats and dogs and scream at the TV. You can let some of the frustration out. I appreciate you guys allowing me to do that. Salute to you guys, man. You guys do a great job. I'm a fan, big fan. One thing we got to not forget about the Grimes issue is the Tibbs factor. Remember, Grimes was Tibbs' choice, and Tibbs is a guy that he's stubborn to a fault, man. And if it's proven him wrong, picking Grimes, it's going to stop him from pulling him from the starting lineup. He'll do it. Thank you, fellas.
Of course, Double A, bring that passion on Friday, bro, because that's going to fit in with the combo. Apollo. I was like, man, maybe we keep Apollo here long enough. We'll actually see the dentist start working on it, but no live look on the root canal. Apollo, let them know where they can follow you, bro.
Nah, I'm trying to wait it out. I'm actually on the clock right now, so this is illegal panel shit that I'm doing right now. But you can find me at Guard Up Knicks everywhere, man. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube is Guard Up Knicks. It's myself, my brother Andre Jalil, my boy Joe, my cousin Rick. Y'all already know. You can find me there. I'm open for whatever. I love talking Knicks. It's just same thing every single time, man. It's just good vibes, but at the same time, we're gonna have some different opinions, and that's what makes it beautiful, man. So shout out to y'all.
Facts. Appreciate you, Apollo. State, go ahead, bro. Let them know where they can follow you. And that soon to be released State of the New York Knicks podcast.
Yeah, man. I lost my damn phone when I wanted to originally launch the shit. Then gets a new phone. and then I lost that phone. Oh God. But yo, you can find me everywhere, man. State of New York Knicks, Spotify, Google Pods. You find me everywhere. If you want some merch, click on you can find me on my Instagram, State Knicks. Be More Like State is my Twitter. What else? I got new merch coming this week. Also, the YouTube channel live is definitely coming soon. I had to learn a couple of things myself. So Stan's been teaching me how to video edit, and I've also been teaching myself how to do the backgrounds for Knicks YouTube content. And I didn't know you had to pay for certain things like web programs and stuff in order to put all of your the backgrounds together and stuff. So I didn't know any of that until the past couple of months when I've been teaching myself. I could hit up Apollo and my guy Eru and ask them and annoy them with questions, but I feel like it would be more productive if I try to learn it on my own. So if I learn it on my own, then I could master it to the level where I want it to be. So yeah, man. Or if you could catch me on the Twitter Spaces, you catch me on any podcast, man. You'll catch me, man. But salute. Great panel.
If you ever want to see any of State's merch, just follow our guy Ben. In every photo, Ben will be wearing one piece of State of the New York Knicks merch.
That's his marketing guy right there, bro.
He even got like custom State of the New York Knicks underwear. I don't know how he got them, but that's our guy Ben. He got them.
Yo, he on his Adam Silver and Kim Kardashian and shit.
Y'all ain't right. Appreciate everybody on this panel, guys. Thank you all for locking in with us. We'll see you guys soon. Everybody in the chat, appreciate y'all going hard with us today. What an episode. Eddie filling in for Hector. Eddie, I think we only got like one curse word from you today, man. That's what happens when we let everybody else talk.
Getting better.
Getting better. We just didn't push the bear, Phil. We didn't push the bear enough, Phil. How do we get, Eddie pissed off before we go? Julius Randle's the best player ever.
I lost to the Hornets on Tuesday.
Oh, God. That's right. We got Knicks Hornets in season. We got to win that one. That's tomorrow night. We got 7 o'clock? 7 o'clock game tomorrow, I think, or 7:30?
Yo. Before we get out here, shout out to everybody in the chat. If you have not, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We just dropped in the Morning Brew Sports merch link. We haven't really been pushing it too much. We were kind of looking for who exactly we wanted to, print it, but we're narrowing that down this week. So get your pre-orders in because we will be dropping those. We got NBA merch, we got Morning Brew merch, we got Yankees
Jets merch,
Yanks.
And everything's limited edition, so we're not going above 50 on any item. I believe the Jets one, we actually capped that one at 25. We want to keep it limited. We don't want that it's just there forever and everybody gets it. Phil comes out with new designs. The minute that one hits 25, you'll get a new design for that product. Show support. I mean, State said it, guys. We never want to be that channel that's like, hey, we're going to charge you just to highlight your comment. Nah, this chat is what keeps us going all show. But hey, newsflash, it actually costs money to do this shit. Oh my God, it's crazy. So any super chat, any like, you just sharing the word if you can't support financially, it goes a long way, guys. Couple updates. This Wednesday, no Knicks Morning Brew. We'll be taking that Wednesday off. All of us deserve a day off. We didn't take off during the holiday. This Friday, we got Mel Media jumping on with us as our content creator highlight. And then we will have open panel, full blown. We got a lot of things we'll be testing out. Man, guys, all I know is we need this win tomorrow. And can't be that mad when you're 9-7. We're still winning. We put up 2 good fights. I personally, as a Knicks fan, am happy with what I'm seeing. Obviously, want a lot of stuff to change. Everybody in the chat, appreciate y'all tuning in.
Shout out to our boy Hector. We love that you're living it up in Puerto Rico. Enjoy it. Have fun. Visit that Carmelo Anthony court for us. Get some content out there. Shout out to our guy Jerry.
Hey, that's right. Happy belated birthday, Jerry. Living it up in Disney.
Some time with his family. So shout out to those guys. Wednesday we will be taking off, like Jigga said. Going to be celebrating my son's birthday on that day off. So we're just going to be chilling. But we appreciate you guys. Retweet the show. Let people watch it later. And thank you, Eddie. We love having you on, bro. Your family. Yes. You've been killing it, bro. I wanted to shout you out publicly. You've been killing it on those after game reports. So keep that up, bro. We appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks.
All right.
And on that note,
deuces.